station of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are LA.
Heartbreaker of a loss for the Angels last night, evening the series up at 1 game apiece. The Rays actually lead the season series 3-2. And tonight is the rubber game of the series between the Rays and the Angels as we welcome you inside the Trop and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. Mike Scioscia tonight hands the ball off to Garrett Richards, who the last 2 starts certainly has been shaky to say the least. And all you can hope for is that he bounce back tonight.
Yeah, Victor, he had a real good bullpen session in between that start in New York and his start tonight. But when you look back at what he did last year after a tough start, Yankee Stadium gives up 6 earned runs in 2/3 last start. Last season in Oakland, similar type of start, 2/3 of innings pitched, 5 earned runs allowed. What he did after that, though, was amazing because he did have a very good bullpen session last year, certainly this year. Last 9 starts after that start in Oakland, 7-0 mark with an ERA 1.25. So he made some adjustments. He went back to that power fastball. I look for him to do that again tonight. Get back to the power fastball and finish off the hitters with that nasty slider and use his curveball a little bit more.
Yeah, the Rays will counter with Alex Colomé, whom the Angels faced the last homestand, and in that game they had 3 long balls. See if they can do that once again. We'll talk about that when we return. Angels baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. By Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Set between the Angels and the Rays, and the last time the Angels faced Alex Colomé, they hit 3 home runs, and he, going into the start, had just allowed 4 all season.
Yeah, take a look at those home runs on our AT Uverse Rewind. The mistakes made by Colomé. First, to David Freese. Fastball ran the inner half of the plate, and Freese crushed that one out to left field. Not in the lineup tonight, but these two are. Mike Trout gets a slider, was down. Drove it out to left center field, and then Albert Pujols. That breaking ball, middle part of the plate. That's the thing about Colomé. He will make some mistakes, especially when he's behind in the count. He's allowed 7 home runs this year, 3 against the Angels. In the other game, he gave up 4 against the New York Yankees.
We're just about ready for baseball here in St. Petersburg, Florida, the rubber game of the series. Sit back and relax. Going to bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. Outside of Game 3, the final meeting of the season between these two ball clubs. The Rays lead the series 3-2. And this series tied up in a game apiece. Halos winning on Tuesday night, 8-2 the final. 15-hit barrage. Last night managing just 7 hits and dropping Game 2 by the final of 4-2. We'll see what Game 3 has in store. As Alex Colomé and the Rays have taken the field. And we will take a look at Mike Scioscia's starting lineup for the Angels at 29-30 on the season. At the start of the day, 4 back of the Houston Astros and in 3rd place in the American League West. Eric Ibar leading things off at shortstop. Mike Trout at center. Albert Pujols at first base. Cole Calhoun, the cleanup hitter. Johnny Giavatello batting in the 5th spot in the order. It's Matt Joy serving as a DH. Efren Navarro gets a start in left field. Chris Iannetta sees action behind the plate for the first time in this series. He will bat 8th. And Kyle Kibitza batting 9th, playing 3rd base. Alex Colomé, 26-year-old right-handed native of the Dominican Republic, looking for his 4th win.
Yeah, Colomé, good fastball, 92-96, slider, curveball, changeups. My go-tos to be successful against him. Work counts. You get ahead of the count, you're going to have some success. And first time through success also. First time through the lineup, hitters hitting over 300, 319 with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. After that point, more difficult to hit.
Take a look at the Rays defensively tonight. It's pretty much the same lineup that Kevin Cash ran out there last night. DeJesus, Kiermaier, and Souza in the outfield from left to right. Longoria, Cabrera, Forsythe, and Franklin from 3rd to 1st. Rivera behind the plate.
And Forsythe at 2nd base. He's played a number of different positions in the infield. 39 games at 2nd base so far this year. Has committed 2 errors in that position. Also has played some 3rd and 1st. Where the Rays, typical for a Rays player, have to play in a number of positions.
Colomé with a 3-2 mark, making his 9th start of the season. 41 2/3 innings, 49 hits, 29 strikeouts, and 11 walks. We mentioned in that second segment about the home runs the Angels hit off of him. He had given up 4 home runs prior to that game on June the 1st. But all 4 of those home runs in one game, and that was on May 11th against the Yankees. So he's allowed a total of 7 this year in 2 games combined.
Yeah, it's a total of 12 innings pitched and giving up 7 home runs. So when he gives up the long ball, it comes in bunches.
Eric Ibar ready to lead things off last night. Had himself a 1-for-4 game, an RBI single. Kittles managing 4 of the 7 hits in the 3rd inning. Against Erasmo Ramirez, the starter for the Rays, who ended up picking up the win. His 5th of the year. Jared Weaver ended up taking the loss. .271 batting average for Eric, a home run and 18 RBIs. First one tonight is upstairs. Fastball. Ed Hickok's calling the balls and strikes tonight. Mike Estabrook at first, Dana DeMute, the crew chief at second, and Paul Nard at third base. This one's foul off into the seats on third base side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Colomé, as we saw last night with Erasmo Ramirez, kind of a modified windup, very quiet.
No wasted movement in his delivery. The one thing about when you have a delivery like this from a full windup or so-called full windup, hitters have a tendency to see the baseball better out of the hand. There's no deception.
No arms, no legs flying at you.
And a lot of times when you go for the full windup, you hide the baseball behind your back. It's more of you're just kind of falling forward, and the hitter can read the baseball out of your hand a little bit better.
The start that Colomé had on the first gave up 5 runs all earned on 9 hits, 6 innings of work. Took the loss. His one and only start against the Angels.
Where it's right here, it's almost like he's pitching from the stretch. He's got good balance. Generally, you're going to have pretty good control, but you see the baseball well out of his hand. And hitters in 3-1 counts against Colomé this year, 4 for 5. Talk about working counts. Ibar in a very good count now.
Eric looks at a strike. He thought perhaps it was going to be ball 4. Caught the inside corner. Full count. Trout on deck. Pujols to follow. Three-two on the way, and he walked up. So the Angels get their leadoff man on board. Brings up Trout. Trout had a 1-for-4 game last night with an RBI single. Picking up his 34th run batted in. The batting average of .285. 16 home runs, 11 doubles. Pretty decent lead for Ibar at first base. First one's upstairs.
Colomé very difficult to steal against, so he's got that slide step quick to the plate. He's allowed 2 stolen bases in 5 attempts, 1 pickoff. He's in that 1-1 to 1-5 range. 1-1-5. So generally the average is about 1-2 to 1-3 range as far as times at a plate. He's below that. He's quick.
Colomé delivers a strike, picks up and off. You would think with that modified windup that working from the stretch is not that big of a difference for Colomé, especially with a young pitcher, that maybe it's a little bit easier the transition when you've got base runners on board.
Yeah, you would think if you say you had a streak where you start off the game, allow no base runners, then all of a sudden there's one guy gets on and you feel completely different pitching out of the stretch. Well, he's pretty much in the stretch from the get-go.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Just underway, a walk to Eric Ibar to lead off the ball game. See Rivera set up outside, and that is off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's exactly where Ramirez got him out yesterday with a fastball away. Colomé definitely remembers his slider he threw to Trout at home, which Trout hit out of the ballpark against him.
Very deliberate worker.
Oh, back outside with a fastball.
Two balls and two strikes. Trout skies this one down the right field line. Long run for Steven Souza Jr. and in foul territory. He drops the ball. Looks like he decided to go to a slide. Either that or he lost it. But clanks off the glove and what perhaps should have been the first out.
It looked like it was getting towards one of those catwalks up top. See if he lost it there. No, he was tracking in the last second. He took his eye off the baseball.
Certainly didn't hit one of the catwalks. And Souza gets charged with an error. First of the year. New life for Trout. 2-2. Swing and a miss. One down. Tied him up with a fastball in.
For that sequence, only one slider thrown. A lot of fastballs, a couple fastballs away, and then a fastball in at 94. Gets a swing and miss.
So Albert will bat here with 1 out and 1 on. Had an 0-for-3 game last night. Hit by a pitch. .264 batting average, 16 home runs, 30 runs batted in. Colomé might be setting a new record here for a time taken, getting the sign and coming set.
It does take quite a bit of time before deciding on a pitch. 4 pitches. He's got a fastball, slider, curve, and change.
Right guy you want on the mound on getaway day, especially on a night game going back across the country. Not really.
Possibly not.
1 ball, 1 strike. Halos with the loss last night, now 13-17 out on the road. Rays are 2 games under 500 here at home, 15-17. To start a 5-game homestand tomorrow night. 3 against Oakland and then 2 against the Arizona Diamondbacks on Monday and Tuesday. 1-2.
Albert would love that pitch back right now. Inner half and down.
Last start for Colomé was on the 6th against Seattle. Gave up a run on 7 hits with 6 innings. 2 strikeouts and 3 walks. Total of 94 pitches. Outdueled Felix Hernandez. 1-2 pitch in the air to right. 2 down. Ibar remains at first base. We'll bring up Cole. .269 batting average for Cole. 0-for-4 game last night with a couple of strikeouts. Aside from that 3rd inning for the Angels in which they sent 7 men to the plate, the offense really didn't do much against Ramirez plus 4 relievers for the Rays. Three infielders on the right side with Cole up. First one outside.
Good count now for Cole to do some damage. Hitters 5 for 7 against Colomé, and they're ahead of the count 1-0.
2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, we've seen a number of pitchers of late. You're with a better chance of squaring up a baseball that very first pitch. Different against Colomé. He's a guy, if you get ahead of the count, you have a much better chance to be successful in your swing.
Spent some time in the big leagues last year, 5 games, 3 starts for the Rays, 15 starts in AAA, but also suspended 50 games. Violation of the joint drug agreement, minor league version.
Generally, when you're behind in the count and you're giving up a lot of hits, part of it is because you don't have a good secondary pitch to get back in the counts.
Three balls and no strikes. Colomé doing his best 4 corners, slowing everything down here. Ibar with a leadoff walk. Trout a strikeout and pulls a fly ball to right. Three and one. That'll look to be off the plate. Good look from high above here at Tropicana Field. Ibar's lead at first base. 3-1, lifted, foul, and out of play. Full count now. Ibar will get an opportunity here to take off in the next pitch. Ibar takes off and a comebacker to the mound. Halo's going to lead off walk and leave him stranded to the bottom of the first with no score. Kevin Cash's starting lineup for the Tampa Bay Rays at 32-28 in a game and a half back in the American League East. Kevin Kiermaier center, Joey Butler at DH, Evan Longoria at third, David A. Jesus at left, Logan Forsythe at second base, Steven Souza Jr. in right field as Drupal Cabrera the shortstop, Nick Franklin at first, and Rene Rivera doing the catching batting ninth. Same exact lineup that Cash had out there last night as they take on Garrett Richards, 5-4 on the season with a 4.14 ERA.
Yeah, trying to bounce back, especially from our last 4 starts for Garrett. His first 6, though, his strike percentage very solid at 63%. Last 4 starts for him at 60. Doesn't seem like a lot, but those mistakes he's made out of the strike zone. Last 4 starts, 19 1/3 innings pitched, 28 hits, 17 earned runs for Richards. His stuff is way too good to give up those runs. I look for him to go back and attack the strike zone with his fastball.
And last start, of course, 2/3 of an inning against the Yankees, 6 runs on 5 hits. First one tonight is in there for a strike. Fastball command has been the biggest issue, if you will, for Garrett Richards here of late.
Yeah, and he's got to think in terms of middle of the plate and trust movement, both cut action and sink action.
Breaking ball is a swing and a miss by Kiermaier. No balls and 2 strikes on the Rays center fielder.
I do like the fact he's establishing his curveball early in the game. Usually you don't see that till the 5th or 6th inning. Talked about that ERA in the last 4 as compared to the first 6.
There's another one, and down goes Kiermaier for out number 1. Defensively for the Halos tonight, Efrain Navarro is in left field. Mike Trout at center. Cole Calhoun at right. The infield has Kyle Kibitz and Eric Ibar on the left side. Johnny Giavatelli and Albert Pujols on the right with Chris Seinetta doing the catching.
And Kibitz getting his 2nd start at the major league level. Third base had 409 starts in his career down in the minor leagues, last 5 seasons at third base. So it's a position he's very familiar with.
Butler fouls off the first offering. Snowballs and a strike on the Rays DH. 324 has 4 home runs and 14 runs batted in. 1 for 4 game with a double and an RBI last night. This is back up the middle and off the glove of Richards. Giavatelli has no play. A fairly routine grounder, but Garrett can't come up with it. Maybe that'll go as an infield single.
My main key for this game with Richards on the mound. A little Florida Georgia line going with Cruz. If he establishes his fastball, he should be able to cruise through this lineup very easily, especially get ahead, use his curveball like we saw in the first bat of the game, and get back to that hard slider. Not that necessarily that get over slider, but the hard slider to get a swing and miss.
It is a single for Butler, and here's Evan Longoria. First one in there for a strike. Longoria homered last night, his 6th of the year. Snapped the 2-2 tie. It proved to be the game-winning hit. He was tacked on a run in the 8th inning to make it a 4-2 victory. 272 batting average. This has 13 doubles. No balls, 2 strikes. Second time that Garrett has faced the Rays this year, 2 starts ago, and the Big A picked up the win. Walked 3, struck out 4, allowed 6 hits, 6 innings of work. There were 99 pitches in that start. This one out to right. Cole comes racing in. 2 down.
Boy, jammed it with a good fastball. 0-2 fastball in. Longoria with the open stance and closes it quickly. That fastball at 95. Good location, jams him. Easy fly ball to right field. Early on, he has established his fastball, trust and movement. Start in the middle of the plate, either runs in against the righty or goes away. Same thing against the left-handed batter. Trust the movement. Don't try to be too fine on the corners.
First one of day, Jesus is outside. The left fielder hitting .312, 5 home runs, 20 runs batted in. 1 for 4 game last night with a single. It's also caught stealing. 1-1. Benefit of the call there. Cox calling the top part of the strike zone. One and two.
Good fastball once again with cut action.
This just one of 9 games in Major League Baseball today. A couple of finals already. Cleveland shutting out Seattle 6-0. Oakland shutting out Texas 7-0. Scoreless here in the bottom of the first. Butler takes off. To throw down to second is in time. We got him. Butler, no argument. It's third out of the inning. Kevin Cash will probably take a look at it real quick downstairs. Standing outside the dugout.
It's a good throw by Chris Arnett, especially on a curveball. Good tag too, quick tag. Looked like he got that leg before the foot hit the base.
Yeah, no argument from Cash. So one in the books. We're scoreless as we head to the second. Along with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet today. Have any more reads? We got plenty of time here. Johnny Giovatello settles into the batter's box.
There's no doubt.
Could knock out a couple more. Johnny bounces one back to the mound. One down. Giovatello batting in the 5 spot. 6th time in his career. Ground down to lead off the second. And Matt Joyce, the former Ray, will step up.
And Longoria moves from third base over to the right side of the infield. The shift on for Matt Joyce.
It is kind of odd, isn't it?
I mean, exactly where Cabrera is playing. He's playing as if he was a third baseman.
Right.
But they do move him as the count changes in that at bat against Matt Joyce.
So is the thought process being that Longoria is the better fielder, thus putting him into the overshift, the pull side? Is that what they're?
It's almost saying he's got better range than would be the shortstop, which is usually not the case.
thought there was another team that did that earlier this year too.
Brett Laurie did it with Oakland.
Yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Joyce. DH tonight. 186. 4 home runs, 17 RBIs.
And now you can see Cabrera moving now more so back to his normal shortstop position.
Joyce could go the Bryce Harper route, try to bunt here for 2 strikes. Didn't work out so well. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You know, I read after that he was explaining that Harper was about you know, a pretty good pitch to bunt. If I get it down, it's a hit, whatever the case may be. Zimmerman comes up, and I think he said in the quote that he took a shot first time he's done that. He did that against the Angels last year.
Yes, he did.
At Nationals Park.
Nationals Park. No question he did.
2-2. Foul to plate. I think Matt Williams' response was something to the effect of, we will leave that discussion for another time.
In other words, that's his decision, not ours.
Another 2-2. Joyce takes outside, a full count. Efra Navarro on deck. Three-two from Colomé, and he lays off. So it's a walk. Second one issued by the right-hander.
And now it's time for Tools at the Trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks. Speaking of Evan Longoria, before the game, just before batting practice, takes a lot of ground ball action at his knees first, just to get his reaction time with his glove, both the glove side and the backhand, and then eventually he stands up to field the baseballs hit his way. But it's more of an opportunity for him to show his reaction time, that reactionary position, being third base, playing in, showing how quick his hands are. Gold Glove winner in 09 and 2010.
Efren hitting .227 at the major league level this year with 1 double. Check in on Joyce. I like the fact too the Longoria doing that at third base, with being so close to the turf, forcing you to watch that ball going to the glove on either side of you.
Remember, Ibar hit a shot at him yesterday. How quick he was on his reaction, because he had to play in to take away the potential bunt.
What it up? Navarro, 28 games at AAA, .370 average, 12 doubles, a triple, a couple of home runs, 13 runs batted in.
I think you don't see from the Rays a whole lot, especially with a left-handed batter, a normal infield defense. What that tells you is Efren Navarro uses the entire field.
Only other action that Efren has seen in this road trip, or on this road trip, is the Friday game against the Yankees, the 9th inning. Angels falling short of their comeback in the 9th. 1-1 pitch. Upstairs, 2 balls, 1 strike. Now Rivera's going to go out and talk things over. They're getting very quick from the stretch. Everything in this inning has been upstairs for the most part.
Again, there's certain times as a pitcher you want to utilize your slide step, but when you have certain runners at first, Matt Joyce with no stolen bases so far this year and been caught 3 times, doesn't make a lot of sense to utilize that slide step. You have more tendency to drop your elbow. Just 1 more strike than ball thrown out of the strike zone in his 33 pitches so far. You can afford to take a little bit longer time from the stretch with certain runners on base.
17 strikes, 16 balls so far.
Good hit and run count. Especially a good guy to put that on with effort, because he puts the ball in play most times on the ground.
Two one, pulled foul. First base sack. 2-2. No score, just the top of the second. 34 pitches for Coleman. 1 strikeout, 2 walks. Full count.
Well, you can see why it'd be very difficult to try to steal a base against him. Coleman takes so long in between pitches. As a base runner, you're trying to time a pitcher, get your lead and go, but he holds the ball so long, you really don't have any momentum going for you as a base runner.
Joyce takes off. 3-2, pulled foul. Right in front of the Rays dugout. So Joyce hustles back to first. We'll reset and do it again. Chris Iannetta's on deck. Joyce again takes off. Navarro bounces this one to second. And it plays to first. 2 outs. Joyce scoring position now. And it's Chris Iannetta coming up now.
Chris with a very good throw to finish off last inning. Has an RBI opportunity right now.
Average at 169 with 3 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Pinch hit last night in the 9th inning, hit a fly ball to center. Carlos Perez getting the start first 2 games of the series. Oh, 1 offering. Fouled back, no balls, 2 strikes.
Got away with a hanging slider there. This goes that one straight back.
First man the Angels have got in scoring position tonight. 0-2 pitch. Iannetta strikes out. Nope. Fouls at its plate. In and out of the glove. Rene Rivera unable to hang on to it. So new life for Iannetta. Count remains at 0-2. Halos last night 2 for 5 with men in scoring position. Had a 7 for 18 game in game 1. Men in scoring position and overall in the season. Halos now at 251. Team batting average in those situations. Fouls it off to the right.
one thing as a hitter, though, when you have a pitcher taking so much time in between pitches, once in a while you're going to have to step out yourself. You get yourself prepared mentally what pitch you're looking for, and you're standing there. Once in a while you're going to have to step out.
Time called again.
I think that's the right thing to do if you're Chris.
Goes down swinging. Second strikeout for Colomé. The Angels leave a man in scoring position. Scoreless as we head to the bottom of the second. It's back to work. Faced a minimum 3 batters as Joey Butler had an infield base hit, but then was thrown out trying to steal second. De Jesus, Forsythe, and Souza here in the second inning. Good old Ray Tank out at right center. David De Jesus was at the play when Butler was thrown out, trying to steal second. He fouls the first one back. .133 average in the month of June. And pretty much you could say the same thing for the entire Rays team offensively. Just a .195 team batting average, yet they are still 6-3 in June. Staff has pitched with 2.81 ERA. Kevin Cash, the youngest manager in Major League Baseball, Tampa native.
Done a nice job so far.
Former Ray himself, as the appeal did not go Richards' way. Two-one pitch. Now back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good life again on that fastball for Richards. A little more under control today.
You know, there's a lot of conversation about spin rate on a fastball, four-seam fastball. The spin rate for Richards, 2,498.88 RPMs on his spin rate of his fastball, which is second only to Max Scherzer as far as starters in the major leagues.
This one lifted in the air to shallow left. Efren comes in, puts it away for out number one. Fans, the Angels will take on the Oakland Athletics beginning tomorrow night. For the first of three, fans in attendance will receive a Cole Calhoun bobblehead courtesy of Cox Communications tomorrow night while supplies last. Purchase your tickets today at the Angel Stadium box office or online.
Yeah, when we talk about that spin rate, what it does, when they talk about that going through the zone, it appears with that kind of spin rate that the baseball will rise through the strike zone, letting more and more swing and misses at that type of fastball. And even when we were in New York, Eovaldi was thrown, whose average fastball is about 95, and then Jared Weaver around 84, 85. But yet Weaver had more as far as the spin rate. That's why you still get that, even though you're not overpowering necessarily. It's the spin rate of the baseball that creates that illusion that the baseball is rising through the zone and more swing and misses.
It certainly had John Smoltz baffled. He was doing the game for MLB Network on Friday, and he couldn't explain it. He didn't know how to explain it and why that was important and how the differences varied so much for both guys. Now, David Cone, on the other hand, who loves, and so does Smoltz to a certain extent, but David Cone likes that kind of stuff, likes the numbers, looks at all types of numbers, sabermetrics and the like, was talking about perhaps the release point that Weaver perhaps drops the wrist just a little bit more so than Eovaldi, who has more of a traditional four-seam fastball, and because of that you create a little bit more spin rate to it.
And then when you have that conversation with Uhara for Boston, who doesn't throw hard at all,
right,
but he gets a lot of swing and misses on his fastball, and it's because of the spin rate he creates as the baseball at the end of his fingertips creates that rotation of the baseball, which allows that as a hitter seeing the baseball, and then it's rising through the zone, although a baseball doesn't rise, right, but it makes it appear that it does.
Yeah, and you can, I think someone said it in the booth when we were talking about it in New York, that perfect example is Chris Young, the right-handed pitcher, big tall righty out of Princeton. 84 to 86, yeah, and hitters go back to the dugout thinking, how did I miss that fastball? And it's a straight fastball. Cal remains at 3-2.
That's part of the reason why, if you're Garrett Richards and you're having a conversation with him, that's what you want to see, more fastballs, because of that fact. Granted, he's still a ground ball pitcher, but still they don't square up the baseball necessarily when he's working that fastball the way he should work it.
And Forsythe works the walk. Initiated by Garrett. Puts a man on with one out, and Souza Jr. coming up
with a 3-2 slider.
Rays right fielder hitting .211, 11 home runs and 26 runs batted in. The thing with the spin rate, too, just to finish up that conversation, and as John Smoltz brought up with us in the discussion, is you've got to have a point of reference. It's still a work in progress when we get all of these numbers with StatCast and the like, that so that you have an idea, even just the casual fan. If you're into the numbers, you love that stuff. You just jump right in and you figure it out. But the most folks, the casual baseball fan, isn't. And if you don't have a reference point on, let's say, the spin rate, for a perfect example, it's difficult to say, all right, wow, his revolutions 2,400, big deal. What's that mean?
You know, I would love to see, like, Sid Fernandez was a very good pitcher in the 80s and 90s. His fastball wasn't overpowering, but it was a fastball similar to what you see from Chris Young. To being a left-hander, Sid Fernandez was a lot of fastballs up, and he got a lot of pop-ups and swing and misses at a pretty good fastball, but not an overpowering fastball. He dropped his elbow, and the baseball off the fingertips created that rotation where he got so many easy outs.
The old sneaky fast.
Yes.
That's usually when you get hitters coming back to the dugout. It's like it's on you all of a sudden. Souza skies one out to right field. That ball's hit pretty well. Cole is back near the wall, and it's gone. A 2-run home run for Steven Souza Jr. And the Rays have a 2-0 lead. Team leader in home runs, now with 12 and 28 RBIs.
Again, a perfect example of a fastball that's upstairs for Richards. He is definitely a ground ball pitcher, but that fastball, not as much movement when it's upstairs. Well, you see how flattened out that fastball was. And Souza goes the other way for a 2-run home run. The 6th home run that Richards has allowed this year.
56th home run hit by the Rays. Bases clear, 1 out, and has dribbled Cabrera at the plate. Cabrera, .211 average, a couple of home runs, 13 runs batted in. 2 for 4 game last night with a single, a double, and a run batted in. On the corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 strikeout, 1 walk, 2 hits allowed for Garrett, which was the home run to Souza just now. And a swing and a miss. Inetta will throw down to first to complete the strikeout. 2 down. Nasty breaking ball down low.
It's that wipeout swing and miss slider.
Here's Nick Franklin. He's gotten the start at first base all 3 games. James Loney on the disabled list. Has been for some time. Desmond Jennings has been on the disabled list for some time. We're missing down and away. To the Rays, while they are at 32 and 28, just a game and a half back in the American League East, they're doing it really primarily with pitching and defense, although the defense has let them down a little bit in this series. They've got some guys coming back on the offensive side as well as on the pitching side, the starting rotation side. I think Matt Morris's got 2 more rehabs, and perhaps they make a decision on him.
Yeah, it's going to be real close between the beginning part of July or maybe even the end of June for him.
Franklin fouls it off, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
He is a special lefty. He uses a power arm.
Like Franklin hurt his left hand or wrist on that swing. Trying to stretch it out. And the standings in the East.
And Toronto is on fire right now.
They got Jose Reyes back at the top of the order. 3 and 1 now.
We've won 8 games in a row. We're in that conversation for Jonathan Papelbon with the Phillies, a potential closer for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Franklin foul tips that one. Got a full count. 2-0 Rays. We're only in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Chopper toward the middle. Giavotella has to hurry. Low throw and had nothing on it. So Franklin legs it out for an infield base hit. And you wonder if maybe it's an easier play for Eric Ibar cutting across.
Because he's going with more momentum. He's going to have a lot more on his throw than Giavotella, who's going away. See right there, Eric had a better chance to have that play made and make a stronger throw because Giavotella is going to have to throw across his body to make the play. And there's that conversation right there. They're saying, I have that play. It's a little easier play. I know you want that ground ball, but I'm in better position to have a stronger throw on it.
Rene Rivera, the catcher, now up. He's a little bit tardy on that fastball. It's an 0-1 count. Hitting 156 with a couple of home runs and 10 runs batted in. John Jaso, another offensive player for the Rays on the DL.
And that's a guy that's hurt the Angels throughout his entire career.
Ground ball back up the middle. Giavitello was shading that way. He'll go to first, hitting over, but the Rays strike first. Steven Souza Jr. with a 2-run blast. We'll head to the third. Halos down 2-0. Two to nothing. 9-1-2. Kubica, Ibar, and Trout coming up for the Angels. Light crowd here in what was the original home of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Good call.
The Florida Suncoast Dome. And when they got the franchise, it became the Thunderdome. I remember watching a Lightning game here.
Another good game last night in Chicago. Yeah. They'll come back here for Game 5. What, Saturday?
Yep.
Good series there.
Kyle Kubica made his major league debut last night, went 2 for 3. Couple of singles, strikeout, a couple of mistakes, one defensively, one on the base paths. Those things will happen with young players as he shoots one to the right side. Nice play by Franklin, a middle infielder by Trey. One down.
Yeah, that's the hands of a middle infielder making that play. That ball was hit well by Kubica. Thought that for sure was going to get in the right field. The dive. Gets up. Perfect feed to first base, too. Colomé covering the base.
He's feeling something because they looked like the left wrist rolled over there. Mentioned in that previous at bat, he kind of felt something as well on the foul ball. Something's going on. But obviously, when you're getting the opportunity to play, just kind of roll with it. Ibar drew a walk at the first. We'll take downstairs for ball 1. 2 walks for Colomé. 2 strikeouts as well. This one's out toward right field. Hit well, but Souza's there. 2 down. Two up, two down. Trout up, the strikeout victim in the first.
As usual, the Rays put the shift on with Trout at the plate. Pulling off the baseball just slightly.
Chopper to the right side. Nobody's covering. It's going to be a foot race now, and Trout will win that one. Even if Colomé had been alert,
yeah,
it would have been a bang-bang play.
When you have that shift on, anything that's going to be hit where the first baseman has to go to his glove side, there's no way you're going to be Trout going down the line. See how far he is away from the base. Colomé initially was a spectator, looking where that baseball was, and then he knows he has no chance.
You know what? I take that back. If he breaks, maybe they do get him by a step.
Yeah, he just looked back and was wondering what was going to be the play or not.
Hey, that's Nick Franklin.
Yeah,
oh, wait a second. He's playing first.
Yeah, he's not playing second. He's playing first. And then I have a freight train running down the line. No, thank you.
The Angels get a man on first hit of the night. And Albert tie things up with one swing of the bat. Fly ball to right field his first time up.
What a second pitch of the sequence against Pujols, the first at bat. Albert took a fastball around 93 on the inner half and down. He would love to see that pitch, first pitch here. Well, he doesn't attack the first pitch often.
Albert chops this one to the left side. Longoria has it. Halos trail it 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the third. World Cup title as they battle Sweden at 4 p.m. Pacific on your local Fox affiliate. Catch the whole tournament streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
See if they can keep that momentum up.
Garrett Richards will face the top of the order here in the third inning for the Rays. Kiermaier, Butler, and Longoria. Kiermaier strikeout victim in the first. Down and in. Two balls and no strikes. A tough play, and Albert alertly lets that thing bounce foul.
Yeah, that's one of those plays as a pitcher when you're more comfortable, and Garrett still, recovering from what happened last year for him on his knee. This is a play where this is an out for you as a pitcher. You're covering over, you'll be able to feel the ball, and then right away you try to apply a tag, and it kicks out of play. But when you're aggressive and feeling comfortable going after the baseball, you will so as a pitcher.
Two balls and one strike. And a quick decision has to be made with Kiermaier's speed going down that line. So Albert hollering that out.
That's a play, though, as a pitcher. You do that in spring training, you're going to make the play yourself.
Full count.
That's really the only way, because unless Albert can feel that and make a tag, there's no way the pitcher in Garrett Richards is going to be able to get there to the mound. So you field it and apply the tag.
Perhaps if you're a little angry, a little shove.
Yeah, that's the perfect time. I was going to say that, but I was thinking I might let that one go.
3-2, fouled off to the left.
That's a freebie as a pitcher. You don't get many chances like that if you're a little bit angry.
And if you shove a little too hard, you look back at the turf. You look, oh, I just tripped. Yeah. I'm sorry.
My bad. My bad.
Another payoff. Broken back with a flare towards short. Ibar's there. One down. Breaks up Butler. Infield base hit. First inning at bat. 1 for 1. Butler last year spent a little time with the Cardinals, then was let go. Went to Japan, signed in the offseason by the Rays.
Okay, that's one of those get-over sliders that end up in a dangerous spot for Garrett Richards.
No balls, 2 strikes.
I know you want to establish you can throw your slider for a strike, but for a right-handed pitcher against a right-handed batter, you want to start that slider a little bit further towards the outside part of the plate, not the inner part of the plate.
One-two pitch outside. Breaking ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Longoria on deck. Only scoring in this game, Steven Souza Jr. with a home run the opposite way. 2-run shot in the second. 2-2 now. Butler fouls it back. Dribbler foul. Got him over anxious. That off speed pitch. I believe that's a happy dance.
Yes,
with the Mountain Dew, I think.
Oh, for sure. A good fastball away should be perfect.
Went away, but they got a piece of it. The count remains at 2-2. Back to that fastball. Elevated, however.
Already an 8-pitch at bat.
A dead 9.
Really doing a nice job as far as staying live in this at bat. That's a pretty good slider. You're tempted after a swing like that on a slider away with that kind of coverage to throw a fastball inside now.
Double digits now.
And that was another 4-seam cut fastball.
And got him. Down goes Butler, 2 outs. Third strikeout for Garrett.
It's almost like he threw a changeup here. More straight down on a slider, or is it changeup?
Yeah.
And he does have that as part of his game, a changeup. He can throw many of them. Looked like a pretty good pitch there from Richards.
Longoria, fly ball to right field in the first inning. A frustrating look on his face after that pitch. Bounce in front of the plate.
His velocity on his fastball tonight's been consistent, 93, 94, maybe 195. Which is still a very good fastball. What we see from Garrett over the last year and a half is consistent 95 to 98 range on his fastball.
Good off-speed pitch. Down goes Longoria. A 1-2-3 inning for Richards. First time tonight. He's done that. Through 3. Rays lead at 2-0. Fox Sports 1 for the first time as the greatest golfers in the world converge on the Pacific Northwest for a chance to stamp their names in the history books. Our exclusive coverage of the 115th U.S. Open Championship live from Chambers Bay Golf Course begins June 18th on Fox Sports 1, Fox, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
What a nice track they're going to play in that great tournament. Got to see the trophy in New York.
That's right.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. The series, not so much. The trophy was cool. Victor Espinoza was cool.
Yeah.
The series, you hope that the Angels can bounce back here, pick up the series.
Win this series.
That's it. Enjoy that long plane ride home. Gets the Angels back into Southern California early morning hours. We hope. Cole Calhoun looks at a strike. Calhoun, Giavotella, Joyce here in the fourth. Nothing like a night getaway game. Cole pulls this one into the shift. That's Longoria. That's a 5-3 put out from the right side of the infield. One down. Cole 0 for 2.
Very similar to what Eric Ibar and Giavotella were talking about. An easier play when you're going across for that baseball. Field it, easier throw.
Giavotella bounce you back to the mound his first time up. Looks at a strike. Coleman with 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 hit allowed. The infield single by Trout. This is line to left field. Base hit for Johnny Giavotella with 1 out here in the fourth.
That's a real good swing from Giavotella. Level bat swing and get underneath that baseball. Line drive into the outfield for a base hit. You know, this pitch had some running action, ran in on him, but still the level swing, short through it, and a good base hit for Giavotella.
So Matt Joyce comes up. He drew a walk in the second. Official at bat for him. Joyce looks at a strike. Three infielders on the right side.
This time Longoria on the left side of the infield. Reason why you do that for a turn of a double play. For a middle infielder to be able to turn it at second base as compared to a third baseman, have to try to turn a double play at second base a little easier. For someone that does it all the time.
Oh, 2.
Both pitches at the exact same spot. Staying away. Basically pitching against your defense.
Exactly. It's thinking the exact same thing. So Joyce 2 nights ago shoot one to left. Same type of pitch. And strikes out swinging for the second out.
Boy, all 3 pitches almost the exact same spot. Look at our Fox tracks. Look at all 3. 1, 2, 3, all in the same exact zone away.
So Giamatello still at first, and here's Efrain Navarro. 0 for 1 as he grounded out in the second. Down low. First start at left since May the 7th. Evens up the count and a ball and a strike. Colomé certainly has dictated the tempo the first 3+ innings tonight.
You know, down in the minor leagues, they have that pitch clock where you have to deliver a pitch by a certain point. It's at 20 seconds. Really be pressed to get those pitches in at that point.
Off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. And for the most part, the whole speeding up the game has worked throughout Major League Baseball. No real complaints. The levers getting in the game, the time between innings. But the between pitches at times can lag a little bit. 2-1. Giamatello takes off to throw down to second base. It's dug out of the dirt. Giamatello come down to end of the 4th. They're heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Rays leading it 2-0.
There with a very firm throw to second.
Brought to you by the 2015 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimate of 31 miles per gallon. Visit Jeep.com for more information. By AT Uverse, more live channels on the go than cable.
Rays still leading the Angels 2-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. Garrett Richards back to the mound. Jesus going to lead off for the Rays, who flied out in his first at bat to left field. So far, 3 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 punch-outs for Garrett Richards tonight.
.61 pitches thrown by Garrett to Jesus Forsythe and Souza. 2 up. Rays with 3 hits, the Angels with 2. Souza, however, 2-run home run, the difference in this game. One ball, no strikes on David DeJesus. 0 for 1. Fly ball to left field to second. Chopper to second base. One away. Fans, the Angels will take on the Oakland Athletics on Saturday, game 2. Remember, that's a 7:05 start. Enjoy Angels baseball. Then a spectacular postgame fireworks show presented by Wells Fargo. Purchase your tickets at the stadium box office. You can do it online.
Fireworks on Saturday.
Saturday night spectacular. That's why they call it.
Who knew?
Certainly not you or I. Logan Forsythe, the second baseman, looking at a strike. Forsythe walked and scored. Souza home run. Oh, 2.
Mixing in that curveball once again. 65 pitches thrown. Quick first inning, then a long second inning, even third inning. 27 pitches in the second, 22 in the third for Richards.
11 of those to Joey Butler. Bouncer towards short. Ibar. Double clutch. Pujols takes it out. Forsythe got down for round number 2.
That's a good pick by Pujols at first base. That's not an easy one.
I like the emphatic call by Mike Estabrook.
Yeah, he didn't mess around on that one. Slight bobble. Firm throw, low throw, but a good pick by Pujols. It's Raymond.
Yeah. It's your buddy, right?
Oh, yeah.
What was that, about 5 years ago?
Yeah, came up for a visit.
Yeah. Right after a shower, too.
Oh, yeah.
Souza fouls one off. #12th home run in the second inning. 28 RBIs now. Montgomery with the Rays rookie record. Oh, 2. 6 in a row retired by Richards. It's the single, infield single by Nick Franklin. Called strike 3, got him on the outside corner. A 1-2-3 inning for Richards. Make that 7 in a row. 4 in the books. Raymond and the Rays leading it 2-0.
2-0. And now it's time for the T-Mobile game changer. Former Angel, who was in the organization for 31 years, Joe Maddon, really turned around this Rays franchise. He's here from 2006 through the 14th season. Made the playoffs for the last 7 years, including the AL pennant back in 2008. They lost to the Fighting Phils. Last in the AL East, 9 of the first 10 years, a total of 15 days in first place his first 10 years for the Rays. But Joe Maddon really turned this franchise around.
The days of Jose Canseco and Wade Boggs didn't quite work out to start.
No.
Kevin Stocker.
Crime dog, too, here. Fred McGriff.
Yeah. They had Bobby Abreu.
Yeah,
that was right. The Kevin Stocker trade.
That's right.
After Navarro was at the play when Johnny Giavatello was thrown out trying to steal in the fourth. After 0 for 1. This one pulled foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Colomé had 64 pitches, has 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, 2 hits allowed. This one lined toward short and above the glove of Asdrubal Cabrera, so it goes a single. Leadoff knock for Navarro.
Elevated fastball just went with the pitch, making contact. It's a base hit. Leadoff base hit. The halos here. Fastball up above the belt, just went with it. Just over the head of Cabrera at short.
Second time tonight the Angels have had their leadoff man reach. The other was Eric Ibar leading off the game with a walk. And now Ionette at the plate. Chris, a strikeout victim in the second. Down the dirt, stays close enough to the play where Navarro cannot advance. Chris ahead of the count now, 2 balls and no strikes.
One thing we've seen from Kevin Cash and the Rays, they don't waste a lot of time before they think in terms of going down to the bullpen with a starter. Outside of Chris Archer, we'll see some action in the bullpen if he keeps falling behind in the count here. 5th inning.
This one's pulled towards short, backhanded by Cabrera. Means Forsythe. Boy, what a quick turn by Logan Forsythe. 2 down.
And that ball was hit hard too by Ionette on the backhand by Cabrera. Quick feed to Forsythe. He got rid of it so quickly. Ionette is out by quite a bit going down the line.
Sixth double play that Ionette has hit into this year. Base is clear now, and Kyle Kubitsa at the plate. Robbed of a base hit by Nick Franklin in the third, so he's 0 for 1. It's a fastball for a strike. Kubitsa called up before yesterday's ball game. Kirk Neuenhuis designated for assignment. The Braves system. 3rd round pick by Atlanta, 2011, Texas State. 0-1. .70 pitches now thrown by Colomé. 44 of it strikes. bottom part of the strike zone, 1-2. A much different start for Colomé tonight compared to the last time out against the Angels. A little bit more deliberate tonight. Maybe the 3 home runs in that first start kind of changed his approach tonight. Two it's a swing and a miss. The Angels are done here in the 5th. We'll head to the bottom of the inning with the Rays still leading at 2-0. Los Angeles Angels that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP.
Lots of Angel fans here, as always.
Bombing a little bit right now. The Rays up 2-0 as we start the bottom of the 5th inning. Garrett Richards to face the bottom third of the order. Cabrera, Franklin, and Rivera. Garrett with 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, 3 hits allowed. He's retired the last 7 in a row. Cabrera strikeout victim in the 2nd. He's 0 for 1. Pushes the bunt on the third base side, testing Kubica. He was playing in. Strong throwing arm, and Cabrera easily thrown out for the first out.
Yeah, played well by Kubica. We've seen from Cabrera in all 3 games. He's at least made an attempt to try to push a bunt down the third base line, but a firm throw that gets him at first base.
Nick Franklin looks at a strike. Base hit, 2nd inning, 1 for 1. Part of that 3-team deal. Seattle and Detroit. Seattle with a lot of very similar type players. Dustin Ackley, Nick Franklin, Brad Miller. Franklin became expendable as he goes down swinging for the 2nd out.
Seattle was looking for some more consistent offense instead of necessarily worried about the glove.
Rene Rivera's turn now with 2 outs. Nobody on. Halos in the 6th inning have the top of their order coming up. Ibar, Trout, and Pujols trying to solve Alex Colomé. And right on cue, Kevin Cash, his bullpen. Start to get cranking. Rosmer Ramirez lifted after 5 innings last night. The bullpen pieced it together as Rivera fouls it back. 1-1.
Part of the theory behind that is that way hitters aren't seeing them 3rd and 4th time through, or it gives you a better chance as a hitter. It give you a lot of different looks out of the bullpen.
Brandon Gomes, first man up. Rivera hits one out toward right center field. That ball's hit pretty well. Cole racing back there. It's off the top of the wall. Rivera on his way to second with a 2-out double. That's his 8th of the year.
That was played pretty well by Trout. One of his high fastballs. A little cutter that stayed out over the plate. And at 94. Saw the padding of the wall, but Trout right in position to cut that one off. Boy, if that gets by Trout, that could get real interesting. It's going to roll for a while. It's hit that hard off the wall.
Fourth hit for the Rays, and here's Kevin Kiermaier, the center fielder and leadoff man, who's 0 for 2. Popped out to Ibar's last time up. 0-1 count. Might as well throw him another one.
Perfect one so far. You can afford to almost bounce at this one. I wouldn't throw it for a strike though.
Oh, 2. And he gets another one. And he strikes him out. 2-out double stranded in scoring position. We head to the 6th inning. Ibar, Trout, and Pujols coming up. Angels down. On a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast, free quote and see how much you could save. And by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Top of the order coming up for the Halos, down 2-0. Alex Colomé back out of the mound. 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's limited the Angels to just 3 hits. Angels have had just one man reach scoring position. It was Matt Joyce after he walked in the second. With 2 outs, Chris Iannetta struck out to end the second. Gomes is ready to go in the pen for the Rays if necessary. Eric Ibar 0 for 1, a walk into first, a fly to right into third. And a push and bunt on the third base side, bunts it foul. Ninth start of the season for Colomé. Bouncer, first base side foul. No balls, 2 strikes.
Mike Trout on deck. He's just trying to find a way to get on base to bring that tying run to the plate.
Breaking ball up the middle, and it's snagged by Colomé. Third time tonight that he has done that. 1 out.
Fielding his position well tonight. Breaking ball. Eric going right back up the middle. Colomé with right there with his glove to make a play. Under control.
Nobody on for Trout. Infield base hit for Trout in the third inning. He's 1 for 2. Breaking ball low. I'd imagine that Steven Gelt's unavailable. He's pitched in back-to-back games. Jepson, Boxberger, and McKee. They pitched last night. 2 balls and no strikes. Fortunately for the Angels, they've had these type of games following the explosive ones. 2 nights ago, they win 8-2, 15 hits.
Yeah, you're waiting for that consistency from the lineup 1 through 9.
3 balls, no strikes with Pujols on deck.
They said if he walks Trout, Cash may go to the bullpen.
Three one.
.78 pitches. Tough first 2 innings. We talked about how you have to get him early, especially first time through. Unable to score against him, then he's generally from that point forward starts getting cruise control.
And is hammered to left field. The Angels are on the board. It's 2-1 Rays. Big fly for Mike Trout, his 17th of the season. Picks up his 35th RBI.
Well, that was a missile. Trout 17th home run. How did that baseball get out in a hurry for Trout? A 3-1 count. Talked about coming into the game. Hitters hit 800 against Colomé in that spot. Well, he got a pitch right down the heart of the plate, and it was crushed. 2-1 game. And on cue, the Cash is going to go to the bullpen. But Trout, the 17th home run, 35th RBI, 2-hit game for Trout. Colomé, who threw the ball well, is now out of the game. How quick that swing is, how compact, how far that baseball went.
Pen and right-hander Brandon Gomes takes over for Alex Colomé. Are in and out, who's in, who's out. Gomes pitching in his 20th game, 1-2 record, a 2.21 earned run average, 18 strikeouts, just 3 walks at 20 to third. Facing Albert Pujols. 1 out, nobody on. The first one's in there for a strike.
There you go. It's not a lot of fastballs. That's one there. 87-92 has a slider, cut fastball, but a lot of split finger fastballs for him.
Howard 0 for 2. Fly ball to right and a ground ball to third. Another fastball there.
I think we're trying to go back to back again. They've done that, what, 4 times this year? Trout and Pujols.
Oh, 2 pitch. This is back toward the middle, and Forsythe with a heck of a play in the shift. Throws it away, however. A base hit for Albert Pujols. What a play by Logan Forsythe just to get to that baseball.
Yeah, I have no idea how that baseball even ended up in his glove. And Albert's looking at Alfredo thinking the same thing. He's playing basically shortstop. This ball is hit well by Pujols. 1 hop on the dirt. Makes the play, but couldn't get that throw near the base. Otherwise, he gets him at first. Great range for Forsythe, but thrown away from his body. Unable to make a solid throw.
So Pujols representing the tying run is on board. Here's Cole. Calhoun 0 for 2. Bouncer back to the mound and a ground ball to third base. Two-one Rays here in the 6th. Mike Trout putting the Angels on the board with his 17th of the season. One ball, 1 strike. Gomes last pitched an inning and a third on Thursday last week in Seattle. Throughout his career, better against right-handed hitters than lefties. Lefties have touched a 280 batting average. Righties just 208. Good hitters count for Calhoun here. 2 balls and 1 strike. Foul back. Cole is on that fastball. Johnny Giamatello, number 5 hitter tonight, on deck. Alex Colomé 5 1/3, 4 hits, including the home run to Trout, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 run earned. Big lead for Albert. This one's out towards center field. Kiermaier will play it on a hop. Pujols trying to go to third. Longoria off the bag, and Albert is able to get in there.
He had a good read off the bat, saw that baseball being down, and sometimes you just have to be aggressive. And Longoria, because of where he was playing, had to find the third base bag and could not do so in time to be able to tag Pujols. You can see how far away he's playing. And as soon as that ball's hit, he's trying to work his way back towards the base, and the throw from Kiermaier is up the bag a little bit, and Pujols able to slide into the inside part of the base, get into scoring position. You have to take chances sometimes, especially when the offense is not there.
No doubt about it.
Again, it was a good read off the bat by Albert. He read that ball being down that turf in the outfield.
Cole 1 for 3 with that single, and a good swing by him. Here's Giamatello, 1 for 2. He singled the left his last time up. The dirt blocked by Rivera. So 3 hits in the inning for the Angels. Mentioned their game output. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pujols at third, Calhoun at first. A 1-run game here in the 6th inning. Pretty good read by Giavotella. 2 balls and a strike.
Lots of sliders, split finger fastball in these spots where it goes will go for either a ground ball or try to get ahead and get a swing and miss. And Albert's got to be ready for that split finger fastball in the dirt also.
Outfield at normal depth. All 3 guys, Jesus, Kiermaier, and Souza from left to right. Sky to center. Not very deep. Kiermaier trying to get behind the baseball. Now comes racing in. He'll make the catch. Pujols tags. The throw is in time. Albert wants Socha to take a look at it. But a pretty good throw by Kevin Kiermaier. And if the call stands, the Angels run themselves out of an inning.
Yeah, he did a good job, Kiermaier, getting behind the baseball so well.
Yep.
But he got him.
Got him rather easily. So the inning comes to an end. The Angels do get on the board on the Trout home run, his 17th of the season. We head to the bottom of the 6th. 2-1 Rays. To an end, Johnny Giavotella gets the fly ball to center field. Kiermaier, nice job getting behind the baseball.
Yeah, and the momentum going forward to be able to have that perfect throw to the plate. The 1-hop throw. Rivera giving Pujols a clear path to the plate, applies the tag just before Albert slides in. I have no problem for Albert trying to tag up and score. You have to take that shot there. Took a perfect throw by Kiermaier, and he did everything right as far as getting behind that baseball so well.
Butler shoots one foul. The right field line. I need Garrett Richards to come back out and put up a goose egg on the board against the 2-3-4 hitters for the Rays. Butler, Longoria, De Jesus. Butler 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout. 7 punch outs for Garrett Richards. 1 walk. Ground ball. Sounded like he broke his bat. Pujols flips it to Garrett. 1 away.
When they key to this game, Cruz, he's certainly been on Cruz control since the 2-run home run. Souza Jr. back in the second for Garrett Richards. Good feed, by the way, by Pujols to Richards covering the base. Let him enough where he can get that throw, look it into his glove, and step on the base this time around for Richards.
Seven strikeouts for Garrett, most he's had since the start against Baltimore at Camden Yards on May 17. Goria fouls it on the first base side. Pujols giving chase toward the dugout, and will make the catch. 2 down. We'll take that. 1 pitch out.
Well, you'll take them, especially at this point of the game, and an opportunity to get that quick shutdown inning and get the offense back up against another probably different pitcher for the Rays coming out of the bullpen.
And Kevin Jepson getting ready now. Halos have Joyce, Navarro, and Iannetta coming up. David DeJesus is over 2. Fly ball to left and a ground ball to second. .84 pitches thrown by Garrett. 62 have been strikes. Good strike to ball ratio. Bouncer to the right side. Pujols again. Garrett covering. And a 1-2-3 shutdown inning. We head to the 7th. Halos with Joyce, Navarro, and Iannetta coming up, down 2-1.
Souza Jr. getting scoring going for the Rays. A 2-run home run the other way. The rookie dealing, but then Mike Trout cuts the lead to 2-1 with a solo shot, his 17th. With first and third, Giavitello thought he might have a sac fly, but Kiermaier did a great job of getting behind the baseball and a perfect throw to Rivera. Gets Pujols at the plate to preserve at this point now. Still a 2-1 lead for the Rays against the Angels.
New pitcher on for the Tampa Bay Rays. The former Angel Kevin Jepson takes over on the mound to face Joyce, Navarro, and Iannetta. Jepson last night, 1 inning, 1 hit, issued 1 walk. And it's the first of the triplets for the Rays. Jepson, Boxberger, McGee, I would imagine. McGee picking up his first save last night. Joyce takes outside. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Gomes, by the way, went 2/3 of an inning, allowed 2 hits, the rest zeros. Off speed outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Now. take a gift. Three one, taking all the way.
Still a good hitters count. Look for something on the inner half of the plate if you're Matt Joyce. Don't chase away.
Lifts this one in the air down the left field line. Long run for De Jesus, and it slices foul.
When he swung at that fastball, that was away. I think a chance that might have been ball 4.
Three-two now to Joyce. Bounces it foul. Hails with a run on 6 hits, no errors, have stranded 4. The Rays with 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. They've left 2 on base. Steven Souza Jr. with a 2-run home run in the 2nd inning. Trout with a home run in the 6th. Scoring so far in this game. Another 3-2 from Jepsen. Joyce pulls it foul.
Certainly getting a number of pitches, especially the last few, have been down in the strike zone where you want, if you're Matt Joyce, to do some damage.
Pops this one up on the third base side. Long run. That's his Drupal Cabrera. The shortstop goes into a slide and he goes off his glove. Almost got it. That would have been a heck of a play considering the starting point.
He might take a breather after how far he had to go. See how far the distance he has to try to go to catch his pop-up. And just off the glove.
Joyce has seen 8 pitches now. Three-two again. Another pop up. This one headed to the seats.
A lot of the pitches in the sequence have been away. Most of them off the plate away. 3 or so in the middle part of the plate, but down. So avoiding the inner part of the plate. A lot of room on that left side of the infield to be staying away against you.
And he draws the walk, so the leadoff man on board.
Number 19,
Jeffer Navarro will step in. Jepsen, by the way, pitching in his 29th game for the Rays. 1-3 record, a 1.73 earned run average. His 14th walk for Jepsen in 26 innings.
Can't get wild. A lot of times you don't play for the tie on the road, but I think it's one of those times where Mike Scioscia may ask Efren to square around and bunt, force Jepsen to field his position.
Longoria playing back at third now, walks up a little bit. 0-1. Navarro 1 for 2. Left fielder tonight, singled in the 5th inning. Missed outside. There's grumbling from those Rays fans that are here. Tight ball game. We saw one last night. 3-2 until the 8th inning when the Rays added an insurance run. run got charged to Weaver, but it was Salas that gave it up.
Jepsen has thrown 12 pitches so far in this game. Every one has been middle to middle away. Nothing on the inner half of the plate.
Outside again. 2 balls, 1 strike. Net on deck. Then it's Kyle Kubica.
Joyce takes off. The hit and run is on. This one's lifted foul and out of play. Trusting that Navarro will make contact.
And because the hit and run on, it was forced him to swing at that pitch, and that was out of the strike zone again away. But you have to, as a hitter, you have to commit to making contact when the hit and run is put on.
Especially when you've got a runner like Joyce on base. Rivera's already thrown out one would-be base stealer tonight. That was Giavotella.
Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Navarro punches one down to third base line. Knocked down by Longoria, and that's an infield base hit. So the first 2 have reached for the Halos here, the 7th.
Number 17, Chris Anaheim.
Nice job of just staying with that pitch. Another pitch away. This makes contact, punches it down the third base line, where he tried to backhand it. Couldn't secure the baseball, and infield hit.
Here comes Jim Hickey, the pitching coach. Well, if there was ever a time where a situation called for a sacrifice, this would be it.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple times this year where Chris Iannetta was up with first and second in a similar situation where Mike Scioscia had him swing away. I think it's the time, especially at this point in the game, get an opportunity if you get bunt is down, get 2 runners in scoring position.
You get 2 cracks at it with 2 lefty batters in Kubica and Ibar.
This conversation right here, for me, I think it's going over the defense, but it also, you may, if you're Matt Joyce, be aware of a potential pickoff being put on at second, although Kevin Jepsen doesn't necessarily like to make that throw. We've seen over the years the second base on a quick pickoff. Because if there is a bunt on, well, Matt Joyce is going to try to get a bigger secondary lead. You got to be aware of a pickoff.
Joyce the lead runner at second, Navarro at first. Nobody out here, the 7th. 2-1 Rays.
Both corner infielders creeping in. Iannetta not showing bunt. He fouls the first one back.
Iannetta tonight 0 for 2. A strikeout and a double play ball. One ball, 1 strike. Brad Boxberger about to start loosening in the Rays pen. Jepsen has thrown 17 pitches so far, 10 strikes, 7 balls. One pitch. 1-2.
Jepsen likes to throw his slider, hard to break them all in these counts.
He's had a tendency of overthrowing it as well. So Rivera's going to go out and talk things over here.
Jepson with 2 wild pitches this year.
One, two. Called strike 3, 1 down. Slider got him looking.
Little cut action, that slider gets the lower part of the strike zone.
So Kyle Kubica will bat here with 1 out and 2 on. Kubica tonight 0 for 2. Ground ball to third and a strikeout. He faced Jepson last night and got a single off of him on an off-speed pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Tying run at second. That's Matt Joyce. Led off the 7th with a walk. Navarro, a infield base hit, stands at first. There's that on-speed pitch.
He's starting to get more and more comfortable over the last year or so with changeup for Jepson.
Upstairs.
Especially on the fastball, Kubica should be in pretty good position to make good contact against Jepson because a lot of those pitches are away. And Kubica's power is to left center and right center. Good gap hitter.
3-1 now. Jepson really struggling with command in this inning. Boxberger's ready to go. Top of the order, and Eric Ibar on deck. Three-1 pitch. That's a fastball. Front. Right down the middle. Full count.
Very similar spot. 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Down the 3-2 on the way. Kubica hits one towards second, and it's past Forsythe in the right. Joyce being waved in. Here comes a throw from Souza to the plate, and safe is Matt Joyce. We're tied at 2. Kyle Kubica with his first big league RBI.
He went down and got that low fastball. Kubica with a big base hit. Was down, just went with the pitch. Dropped the head of the bat, just got it by Forsythe in the right field. Souza charges it well also. Pretty good throw, but because that clear path to the plate, he's able to get that foot in, tie the game up.
Command and issue for Jepsen. He'll depart, having given up the tying run with a couple of men on. We're tied at 2. To tie this game up at 2 here in the 7th inning, and Brad Boxberger was called upon by Kevin Cash to keep it a 2-2 game. 25th game, 3-3 mark, and a 2.82 ERA. One scoreless inning last night, and he will face Eric Ibarb, who's 0 for 2, walk tonight. Navarro standing at third and Kubica at first base. First one outside.
Boxberger fastball 90 to 95. Curveball and a very good changeup. His go-to pitch, changeup. Certainly a pitch if he throws, if Mike Scioscia puts a suicide squeeze on, but I don't know if you do that, especially with Trout on deck.
Ibarb chasing a fastball up around his neck. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. Ground ball to second base. It'll be tough to turn 2. Ibarb hustling down the line. The run scores, and the Angels take a 3-2 lead on the fielder's choice RBI by Eric Ibarb.
Just putting the ball in play, getting the job done. Good read by Navarro, and a solid slide in there by Kubica. It's slow enough, and it's going to be in the hole. It's a tough throw. No chance to even try a double play. Eric Ibarb realizing it's an opportunity to be able to make sure he gets an RBI and gives the Angels the lead, cruises down to first base.
Trout 2 for 3 with a single and a home run. Ibarb takes off. The throw to second is not in time. A stolen base. There keeps the foot on the bag.
4th stolen base. Now you wonder, because we've been told that Tampa will not pitch to Trout with an open base. To see if this is the case again. High throw. Now they're going after Trout now.
One ball, 1 strike on Trout. The home run that he hit in the 6th inning. 17th of the year. Picking up his 35th run batted in. 2-1. That's what he did back in the 6th inning.
Boy, how quick did this baseball get out of here, too? 17th. Almost a good play by a fan.
2-1, line to left, a base hit. Ibar will come in to score, and the Angels extend their lead as Trout picks up a double with an RBI. 4-2 Halos.
And Hurt pointing back to the plate like he stepped on the plate before, just in case that throw to second base. As Trout picks up a double, his 12th of the season. Second RBI of the game. And they pitched to Trout, and Trout made him pay for a 3-hit game. It's a rocket changeup. Trout right away is thinking double. And first slide gets into scoring position.
12th of the year, and here comes Kevin Cash again with another pitching change. Halos on top, 4-2. Into the ball game to face Albert Pujols with Mike Trout standing at second. 3-hit game for Trout, 2 runs batted in. Second game this year for Gilman. For the Orioles last season. The first base open, they will pitch to Pujols. 4-2 Halos here to 7th.
A lot of split finger fastballs from Gilman. Not an overpowering fastball either.
Albert 1 for 3 with a single in the 6th inning. 3 runs this inning. Charge to Kevin Jepson, his 1/3 of a frame. 2 hits allowed, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. One to 1.
Maybe the one fastball that Albert will see. Albert's fastballs 86 to 90. Slider and a split finger fastball. Going back there, Ibar, who was at second base, and that double by Trout, the head first slide. Ibar crossing the plate, pointing back to the plate, saying, okay, just in case the tag was made, I stepped on the base before a potential tag at second. Happened earlier in this road trip for Eric Ibar.
Picked up a fielder's choice and an RBI here in the 7th. He's scored a run. And a stolen base. 1-2. Albert skies one to left center. Kiermaier comes in. He'll put it away. The Angels strike for 3 runs on the 3 hits. And to the bottom of 7th, Halos now lead it. The Angels will take on the Arizona Diamondbacks in a 2-game series, and on Tuesday it's a 7:05 start. Fans in attendance on Tuesday will receive a cooler backpack courtesy of Yakult while supplies last. Purchase your tickets at the stadium box office, or you can do it online.
And sound effects too.
Yeah. Sounds like summer.
Oh yeah.
Garrett Richards finishing up his warm-up pitches. He's taking a couple extra. To sit for a little while in the 7th. Clock has expired though, which is kind of
surprised he was able to get a couple extra in there.
85 pitches, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Logan Forsythe, Steven Souza Jr., and Asdrubal Cabrera here in the 7th. Forsythe shooting one out to right field. Cole back a couple of steps. 1 down.
At this point in the game, you love those quick outs.
Number 20, Steven Souza Jr.
Steven Souza Jr. a home run, a 2-run shot in the 2nd, his 12th of the year. 1 for 2 game. Takes down low. Last 15 batters that Garrett Richards has faced, only 1 has reached, and that was the double. 2 outs by Rene Rivera in the 5th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lifted out to shallow left. Efren comes in. 2 outs. Mentioned just 9 games on tap throughout the day today. Major League Baseball earlier today. Day game getaway, 6-0. Cleveland shutting out Seattle. Texas got shut out 7-0. Baltimore leading Boston 6-5. That game's in the 9th. San Diego for Atlanta.
San Francisco continues to play well. They were leading early. Mets tied it up. Stanton, another home run for Miami.
Houston is idle tonight. They've struggled of late as Cabrera fouls the first one back. Houston's lost 7 in a row. They go home now to host the Mariners, if I'm not mistaken.
And had to deal with Felix Hernandez.
Yeah.
Looking for his 10th win tomorrow.
No balls and 2 strikes. Houston, even with that 7-game losing streak, still sitting atop the division. Texas dropped a half game with a loss today, just with the opportunity to pick up a half game. Should they hold on to this lead? 0-2 now.
Curveball just got around that curveball. No, a good fastball away. Does Cabrera keep it down at the knees?
Count remains at a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, curveball, even though it's a good pitch for Garrett against certain hitters, Cabrera, that's going into his bat speed right now. He's going to have a tough time catching up to a good fastball away from Richards. Especially gets on top, there's a 2-seam fastball away.
Ground ball to second. Richards with a 1-2-3 shutdown inning. 7 complete. Halos on top, 4-2.
2 as we head into the 8th inning. And make sure you stick around after the game to hang out with Jose Mota and myself for Angels Live. We'll take a look back at this Angels road trip, break down this series, which happened to be a homecoming for a couple of players on the team. Matt Joyce, a Tampa Bay native, said this was the first time he's seen his family since becoming an Angel. And Mike Trout had his whole family out on this road trip. They went on a fun little fishing excursion this morning. He caught a fish, and hey, 3-hit game here tonight, so maybe a little luck.
It worked out, that's for sure, as the Angels lead at 4-2. Alex, we appreciate it. See you in the post-game show. Calhoun, Giavotella, and Joyce here in the 8th inning. Cole tonight 1 for 3, a single in the 6th inning. Bouncer foul up the first base line. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Preston Guillemette, originally a Cleveland Indian, 9th round selection in 09. University of Arizona. 4 games for the Tribe in 2013, 10 games with Baltimore last year. This being his 2nd game with the Rays this season. A 27-year-old, Roseville, California native. Upstairs.
Everything away in this at bat against Cole.
Roseville, just north of Sacramento. Just in case you were wondering.
Thank you for that.
Cole foul tipped that one into the ground. Rivera says he caught it. He did, but it was on a short hop. Tried to sell it.
Looks like you can hear it. Split finger fastball. And no question hit the dirt.
Cole foul tips that one into the mitt. Rivera hangs on to it. 1 down.
Second baseman, Johnny Giavotella.
Johnny Giavotella 1 for 3 game, batting in the 5 spot. Looks at a strike. Doughty had the sac fly to tie things up in the 6th inning, but Kevin Kiermaier throwing out Pujols to end the inning at the plate.
Yeah, he did a great job of going back initially on the baseball to have all that momentum going forward for Kiermaier to make a perfect throw to the plate.
Joe Smith getting ready for the Angels, so it looks like Gary Richards' night come to an end after 7 innings. This one pulled toward the hole and through. It's a base hit for Johnny Giavatella's 2-hit night. The Angels have 10 hits on the night.
Designated hitter, Matt Joyce.
There's Joe. Joyce 0 for 1, a couple of walks and a strikeout.
That last about a real good walk. A lot of pitches thrown for Joyce. Against Joyce by Jepson. Worked the walk.
Looks at a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. That's that last plate appearance. The walk that led off the 7th. Very good eye against Kevin Jepson, who continued to miss out of the zone and plagued Jepson in that 7th inning. Charging for 3 runs in his 1/3. Downstairs. Givitel over at first base. Matt checked his way. No, he did not. He went around. 2 outs.
A split finger fastball looked like he might have went on that one. See this angle across the plate.
Efren Navarro with a couple of hits tonight. Last one an infield single. In and out of the glove of Longoria in the 7th inning. Scored 1 of the 3 runs as they check in on Johnny. Rays in the bottom of the 8th inning have Franklin, Rivera, and Kiermaier due up. That's 8, 9, and 1 to face Joe Smith. Oh, and 1.
Lamar has seen a lot of pitches throughout this whole night away, which plays into his swing.
Neither Smith nor Street have pitched in this series. 8-2 win on Tuesday night, and of course lost last night. Ground ball towards second and off the glove of Forsythe into center. Giovitella keeps on running to third. So a 3-hit game for Efren Navarro.
Another pitch on the outer half of the plate. That time was elevated. Navarro hit that one extremely hard off the glove of Forsythe into the outfield. Allowed Giovitella to get all the way around from first to third.
Chris Iannetta with an opportunity here to extend the Angels' lead.
Hit extremely hard by Navarro. The dive by Forsythe off the glove. And a 3-hit game for Efren Navarro.
Iannetta 0 for 3. Takes down low. The Angels held to 3 hits through the first 5 innings tonight. 8 hits last 3 innings. Iannetta. Defensive swing, a chopper to short. Cabrera throws him out. The Angels' 8th is in the books. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. Looks like Joe Smith coming into the ball game. The Angels up 4-2. Angel fans all over the place in this ballpark. Great to see them, and looking for that series win. Mike Scioscia hands the ball off to Joe Smith.
2-2 this season with a good ERA, 3.42 for Joe Smith. It's his 6th game for Joe.
Facing 8-9-1. It'll be Franklin, Rivera, and Kiermaier. Garrett Richards tonight, 7 innings, 4 hits, including the home run to Souza. 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, 2 runs, both earned. Nick Franklin, the first baseman, 1 for 2. An infield base hit in the second, a strikeout in the 5th.
Real good location, that little two-seamer from Joe Smith.
Another swing and a miss, 1-2.
Back outside again. Might as well try that exact same pitch.
One, two down. And he did. Down goes Franklin, 1 away.
And now it's time for In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by Kia. Mike Trout, what a game he's had. Single, home run, double. Scored a run, drove in 2. .417 career average in Tampa. Including 3 home runs, 8 RBI. They get an opportunity here for the cycle. Top of the 9th.
Yeah, he's due up 3rd. Rene Rivera looks at his strike. Nobody warming up for the Rays, so Gilmed will come back out. Rivera 1 for 2. He doubled in the 5th. Slider fouled back. 0-2. First appearance of the road trip for Joe. Last appearance against the Rays on June the 1st, went 1 inning in that one. Outside. Kiermaier on deck. Rivera strikes out, swinging on a sinking fastball, 2 outs.
What a great sequence by Joe Smith. Threw that sweeping slider away. And Rivera looking for that pitch, and then he comes back inside with a little two-seamer. Swings over top of it, no contact.
So Kiermaier steps up with nobody on. He's 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. Looks at a strike. Doesn't like that call. Pulled to first. Albert's got it. He'll take it himself on a 1-2-3 inning for Joe Smith. We head to the 9th. Halos on top 4-2. Up on the score of 4-2. Preston Gilmet back out on the mound for the Tampa Bay Rays. He'll be facing 9-1-2 Kubica, Ibar, and Trout. Kyle Kubica with a big RBI single in the 7th inning, his first major league RBI. That put the Angels in the lead.
Kubi with the big RBI single.
Pardon me, yeah, he tied the game with his RBI. Ibar's fielder's choice put the Angels on top, and Trout added one with the double. Kubica, any relation to you?
Close.
No?
No.
There's a Z in there.
Yeah, there is.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Little ZA.
Gooby and Kubi.
Yeah. Sounds like a show.
That's cute.
That's what the fellows call him down there, Kubi.
1-1. Down low, 2 balls and 1 strike.
I knew you'd like that one.
There it is. That's how your name was pronounced in your first big league start.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no doubt.
In Kansas City?
Yes, indeed.
At home, too, huh?
At home. I felt real good about that.
Fouled back.
Could I be there a long time after that?
Well, that's no lie, folks. That's pretty close to how it was pronounced.
Yes. A few of the teachers over the years would say that, and they just finally would stop and just say, Mark. Go with it. Go to the principal's office, please.
Again?
Yeah. And again.
Full count now. Three-2. And he draws the walk. Lays off the breaking ball. Leadoff man on board for Eric Ibar. Ibar tonight is 0 for 3. Did draw a walk. A fielder's choice, RBI, stole a base, and a run scored. Trout on deck looking for a triple to complete the cycle. It would be his first triple of the year.
So you're saying there's a good chance it's going to happen now?
Is that what I'm saying?
Yes. I feel it.
That's what you drew from that, that statement.
Positive vibe.
Would be pretty cool. Needed a home run for his first cycle. That was against Seattle at home. Throw to first and Kubica back. I would imagine it would have to be one of those where it's on a line toward like right center field and Kiermaier goes diving for it.
Then we had to stop him at third.
Yeah, Kubica takes off. The hit and run is on, and Eric fouls it off to the left. Eric strikes out swinging. One down. Trout 3 for 4. Single in the 3rd, homered in the 6th, double homer run in the 7th. 0-1. Houston Street getting ready for the Angels. He would pitch the ninth, assuming the score remains a safe situation for him. One ball, one strike.
Staying away with his fastball.
Setting up that drive out to right side.
Yes. With Trout's speed, anything hitting, if it gets by any outfielder, whether it's left field, right field, center field, there's always that chance for a triple.
1-1. Down and away. 2 balls and a strike. Well, they elected to pitch to him in the 7th inning. That was with Boxberger in the game. First base was open. Trout ended up doubling to left. This one lifted out to right. Souza moving back on it near the wall, and he will make the catch. Kubica back to first base. Begging for that one. It goes over his head off the wall.
I was thinking the same thing. Kiermaier was making sure he was going to be in the vicinity. He kept running over there towards right field also. Breaking ball is down. And Souza Jr. going back to the wall. That gets off the wall, there's no question. And they're talking about that right now in the dugout.
Pujols looks at a fastball for a strike. Albert tonight 1 for 4, single in the 6th. To left field, a towering shot. De Jesus back at the wall, and that is gone. A big fly for Albert Pujols. 537th all time, now 16th place all time by himself. It extends the Angels' lead.
And he passes the Met. Well, I'll tell you what, when Trout hits a home run, Pujols hits a home run in the game. Both now tied with 17 home runs, 34 combined. Best tandem in the game.
And yet another pitching change for Kevin Cash.
This is 11 away from Mike Schmidt.
We're in the 9th inning with 2 outs. Angels on top 6-2.
Boy, a fastball middle of the plate. Albert, a no-doubter, once again, 17 home runs for Albert Pujols.
Trout and Pujols. A couple of home runs tonight. 6-2 Angels. A 12-hit attack.
Home runs again in the same game. Well, we mentioned it's Albert passed Mickey Mantle. Remember that back with 61 when Mantle and Maris were battling back and forth as far as home runs. These two are battling back and forth with home runs this year.
Xavier Cedeno takes over on the mound. 21st game. Facing Cole Calhoun. It's 1 for 4.
It's 9 home runs in Albert's last 13 games. I think he's seeing the ball pretty well.
Yeah. Outside the American League East, Albert is now tied several players with 5 home runs against the Rays in one season. Bouncer foul. Pudge Rodriguez did it in 8 games in 2002. Eric Chavez in 9 games in 04. And Rubio Durazo, remember him? For the Oakland Athletics, he did it in 9 games. And Kinsler did it in 8 games in 2011. Albert did it in 6.
Wow.
Cole reaching for this one. That is going to drop in for a base hit. 2-hit game for Calhoun.
13-hit performance for the Halos in this game. Very similar to the first game of the series.
Difference being is that first 5 innings, this offense was non-existent. It really opened up in the 7th against Jepson because of lack of command.
He had that long at bat for Matt Joyce working the walk, and then a base hit off the glove of Longoria by Efrain Navarro, who's had a solid game himself. Giovatello's had a solid game. 2 hits.
Kubica had a long at bat that resulted in an RBI single on a 3-2 pitch. Those 3 runs in the 7th inning charged to Jepson. 10 hits for the Angels from the 6th inning on. 1 ball, 1 strike. Houston Street still warming. Looks like he's going to pitch regardless. Actually, he hasn't pitched in this series. Ground ball toward the hole. Tough play for Cabrera. Throws over to second, and safe at second is Calhoun. So another infield base hit.
Nick Cabrera with a nice play on the backhand, but you're not going to throw out Calhoun at second. Gets in there. Certainly weren't going to throw out Giovatello at first.
TJ Crone will pinch in here for Matt Joyce. 2 men on and 2 outs. Joyce tonight 0 for 2 with a couple of walks, a couple of strikeouts. Houston, by the way, hasn't pitched since the 3rd of June. That's when he gave up the home run to Kiermaier in the loss. CJ takes down and in. Crone, a 206 average. 4 doubles, a home run, 6 RBIs. 0 for 4 as a pinch hitter. Pulled down the line, foul. Routine. That's a picking machine right there.
No question. Feel pretty comfortable getting a true hop on this field turf going down that line.
2 balls and 1 strike. Long one tonight and a long flight back home. Angels will not take batting practice tomorrow since they're scheduled to arrive in the early morning hours, even with the time change. It's really something that Major League Baseball needs to address in the next collective bargaining agreement. Players Association anyway. Fell back 2-2.
I agree. For the players, it's difficult, especially when you're changing time zones like this a number of times, back-to-back road trips.
I wonder why sometimes guys are pretty much dead in August and September, especially with all the travel, especially the teams on the West Coast. Breaking ball blocked by Rivera. Full count now. Runners will take off here. 2 outs. Cron pulls one to third. Longoria has it. And the Angels' 9th is in the books. Albert Pujols with 1 swing of the bat extends the Angels' lead as we hit to the bottom of the 9th. 6-2 Halos. Houston Street on to finish this one up. Not a safe situation, but an opportunity for Houston to get some work before the weekend series against the Oakland Athletics. 24th game, a 2-2 record, a 2.74 ERA, 7 of 19 in the save category. Scheduled to face Butler, Longoria, and De Jesus, 2, 3, and 4 for the Rays.
Nice shot by Joe Smith. Associate Mike Butcher definitely had to be happy with what they saw from Garrett Richards. Showed in the graphic in the opening how well he has thrown after having a real tough game last year against Oakland when 2/3 of inning gave up 5 earned runs and went on a tremendous streak of 9 games, 7-0 with an ERA in the 1s. Well, followed up that game in New York with a very solid 7 innings today.
Butler, the DH, 1 for 3, singled back in the first inning. Joe Smith, by the way, a 1-2-3 8th with a couple of strikeouts. Two balls and no strikes. Strike 2-1. leadoff man on board, and Evan Longoria coming up.
One for 4 in his career versus Street. If Houston get a ground ball double play here.
No balls, 2 strikes. Longoria 0 for 3 game.
First pitch fastball down, second pitch little slider away, both down at the knees. You might want to change it up. Looked like you want to throw a slider.
One ball, 2 strikes. De Jesus on deck. Nice dig by Neto. Count evened up now, 2-2. Jammed him.
Look, a backup slider got around that one and ended up staying on the inner half of the plate.
There's been some times since he last pitched in a game. I mean, obviously side work and the playing catch you want, but completely different on the game mound.
Yeah, closers like work. More consistent with your location.
Just missed low. Full count. Butler with a leadoff single, stands at first base. Here's the payoff. Longoria taps it foul. Hector Santiago on the mound tomorrow night. It's Jesse Chavez, just under 24 hours from now. 3-2 again. Longoria reaches for this one. Skies one to right center field. Mike Trout is there.
Longoria chased that pitch after working back into the count to a full count. Change up that was down, close to hitting the dirt. He frustrated because he chased the pitch.
One out, one on, and it's David De Jesus at the plate. He's 0 for 3. 1 ball, 1 strike. 14 hits tonight for the Angels. Bulk of that going to the 6th inning on. The Rays have just 5 hits. Trout with 3 of them. Home run, a double, and 2 runs batted in. Pujols with 2 hits, including a home run himself. Both guys now with 17 home runs on the season. Butler takes off. The pitch is low. No throw from Iannetta. Pujols was not holding Butler on, so it's not a stolen base. 2 balls and a strike now. This one out toward left center field. Trout back into his right. 2 down. Butler back to second. So the Angels 1 out away from picking up the series. This would be a nice way to return home after getting swept by the Yankees over the weekend.
Back to 30-30 on the season. Pick up a half a game on the Astros. Only 3.5 out of first if we can hold on to this lead for Mike Scioscia's club.
Logan Forsythe, the second baseman, now up. Takes outside. Forsythe tonight 0 for 2. Walked and scored in the second. Street just trying to finish this one off for Garrett Richards. They're looking for his 6th win. Gave up 2 runs tonight, 4 hits. 7 innings of work, 7 strikeouts and 1 walk. 1-0. Inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Eighteen pitches thrown by Houston. 9 balls, 9 strikes. Forsythe skies one out to shallow right. Cole Calhoun is there. Light that baby up as the Angels take the finale of this 3-game set, 6-2 the final.
He has some solid offensive work.